So it's your old buddy Keith from groups.com. Because I don't feel like doing anything else at the moment. I thought I'd answer a question that someone privately messaged me. Zachary over in the forums had a question about, okay, I've got users, and my users basically have a list of things that are their favorites. And like, how can I find all of the other users who share that favorite thing in common, right? So, pretty simple. We've got, here's persons. Now, I don't have users in my database, okay, in this particular project, but I made a thing called persons. They represent users. They have a handle, and then they have a list of favorite things on them, okay? And so when I click a button for this button here, Find Shared Faves, I'm going to take a random item off of this person's list of faves, okay? And then I'm going to find all the other people that share that fave in common. So let's click here on DJ Zippy. And so we randomly picked a fave thing, taco, and then we went and found all the other people in the database who have a favorite of taco in their list of favorites, right? And every time I click this, I'm going to grab a new random item, and you'll see that in some cases, people are unique, and no one else shares their fave. So DJ Zippy is the only person in my database who has Funky Jams as a fave, and so you'll see that they match no one but themselves. And of course, they'll always match themselves because, right, they have this thing in their list, and we'll talk about that in a second. Let's see, I could go down here to Kendra. Let's see what Kendra has in common with people. So let's see, a random thing that Kendra likes is plasma weapons. Oh, and Kendra shares that in common with me, Keith, because I also like plasma weapons. Maybe I should call Kendra. Maybe we could go for a cocktail sometime. Let's see, Petra, she likes a banana. And, it turns out that Kendra also likes a banana. You'll see that I just have a little indicator here. This little green box is just showing me that that's the selected person, right? And then let's see. Petra likes long walks on the beach. Oh, she has that in common with me. I like long walks on the beach. Not really. So there you go. Oh, and here's Zach in our database. Let's see. Zach. Zach likes your mom. DJ Zippy also likes your mom, as do I. I like your mom. Say hi to your mom for me. All right. So how did we accomplish this? There's another thing I'm doing here. I'm going to show how you accomplish this first. It's a pretty simple expression. But then also there's another thing. The person I think in one of these threads, I think Zach's original forum thread, he kind of came closest to grokking what he was trying to do, had suggested looking at the intersection of these lists. And while you can do that, it's not scalable. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's just look at how we do this. If we have some random fave thing, how do we find all the other users that have that shared thing in common? All right. So let's go back over into our edit mode. Oh boy, reminders on my calendar. Okay, so here's my list of all persons. Okay, so this is just a repeating group, and I'm just doing search for persons, all people that I've created, and they're sorted by created date descending. Okay, now of course, in an actual application, like we should probably never be searching for all users. This is just for purposes of this example to show how we would construct this thing, right? If as your database grows larger and larger, like let's say we've got 50,000 persons, well, we wouldn't really be wanting to load 50,000 persons to the page, and certainly not to do this. All right, so what happens when we click this button? So when we click Find Shared Faves, there's a workflow that runs, right? So when button Find Shared Faves is clicked, what do? Well, first, we set the selected person. I'm just, storing that. Now, in Zach's case, the selected person is just the current user, right? So he doesn't have to do this. You always have access to current user. But you could put it into a state. And that's what I'm doing here. So I'm using floppy, but you could use any custom state for this. I'm just setting floppy's RAM scalar value. Floppy has two different built-in custom states. It has a scalar value it can store, a single value, and then it has a list of values it can store. And these are called floppy's RAM scalar and floppy's RAM list. So in this case, I'm just snagging the current salesperson and I'm putting it into this floppy that's called selected person. And that's just over here. Where is it? Floppy selected person. He's right there. He's the green one. This could also be a custom state, right? Like I could do, we can just insert something here. Insert an action. I could do set state. Set state of an element. You know, when you've got, I don't have any custom states on this page. I could just pick where this goes. Like I could, I would put this, you know, probably on the page. So this page is called same faves. And then the custom state, I create a new custom state. We're going to call this selected person, right? And this is, the type of it is going to be person. Person, type, Keith. Person, there's person, right? And it's scalar, so it's not a list. All right, so I could set that. And then the value would be the same as it here. Current salesperson, copy that, do that, base expression. I mean, you know, it's the same thing. Doing this is really the same thing as setting in a custom state. It's just like when I want to retrieve this state, I have to look at floppy selected person's RAM scalar value instead of looking at same faves current same faves selected person state. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to delete that. I was just showing you can do that. Oh, 1 second. I will be right. Well, sorry for the interruption there. I forgot to put my mic back on. Instacart arrived. There's nothing happier than getting a fresh Instacart order full of canned cat and child repellent, which I go through on a regular basis. Okay, so having grabbed the person, now let's grab like a random value off of their favorites list, right? So I'm just setting another state here. Again, this could be a custom state, or in this case, I'm using floppy, and I have this floppy over here called floppy faves. Where's floppy faves? Floppy faves is right here. It stores a favorite thing. Now, in my example, my favorite things are things. They're unique objects that just have a name that describes them, and they have some other values on them as well. In Zachary's case, it's the favorites list is just a list of texts. Now, I wouldn't usually advise that, but it's kind of okay in this situation because he says that the names of these things are coming from an API and they're normalized and yada yada yada. So I guess that's okay in this case. And of course, he wouldn't want to have to take these API responses and turn them into things. That way, kind of lies madness. So we'll just trust them on that. The function of this is still the same. The expressions are still the same. But what I'm doing is I've got this basically a state where I can save a favorite thing. And so what I'm doing is I'm just grabbing a favorite thing. So current salesperson's faves, which is a list of favorite things, grab a random item, shove that over in the floppy. Okay. So now that's stored. We'll build this out in a second. This set the favorite things. Anyway. Okay, so we grab the person, right? We grab a random item off of their list of favorite things. And now, how do we find the other persons in our database that share a passion for that thing? Well, that's pretty easy. I've got a repeating group here, right? You recall that it shows me when I click something over here, it shows me the people that have that favorite thing in common. So I just clicked on Kendra here. We randomly grabbed plasma weapons, and you'll see that Keith shows up in this list, in addition to Kendra, who, of course, likes plasma weapons, so she matches herself. But then I match Kendra because I like plasma weapons. Okay. How do we do that? What's the expression for that? So here's my repeating group. My source for it is going to be a search. Now, of course, I could also have in my workflow like set some custom state to be the value of the search, which would probably be like a better thing to do. You know, people in Bubble, when they're bubbling, they're commonly writing like these really complex expressions. They could be greatly simplified, or at least like make a little more sense if you just, you know, set a state somewhere, like set a custom state to store that thing. And then it's a little easier sometimes to refer to that thing. Now, in Zach's case, you know, he's got current user involved here and yada, yada, yada. But let's get back to what is his search. So we're just going to search for people, right? Search for persons. I called them a person, so they're not people, plural. They're persons, plural. So I'll search for persons where any person's faves, which is a list of favorite things, contains that favorite that I saved over in floppy's RAM scalar. So floppy faves RAM scalar value. That is the randomly selected thing I pulled off of some person's favorites list. I just compare that. Does anybody's favorite list contain that item? That's it. There it is. Okay, so now let's refresh this page. I guess I've showed this over and over. That's all. You just search it. If you have an item from some list and you want to find the other people that have that item in their list, that's what you do. So let's see. Let's click on Keith. Okay, Keith likes your mom, and DJ Zippy likes your mom, and Zach likes your mom. Hi, Zach. Say hi to your mom for me. I think I already used that joke. Anyway, so it's just search for the things where the list of things contains the single scalar thing's value that you want to check for. All right, so that's pretty cool. I mean, I guess what else could we do with this? What I might want to do, because ultimately what Zachary wants to do is just find one random person. So what I might do is, instead of just visualizing this here, this search for persons, I'm just going to copy that expression. And what I'm going to do is I have this another floppy. Again, it's like I'm using this like a custom state. I've got a floppy called random match, and I'm going to set its RAM list value to be that search. Okay, so again, we're searching for persons where their faves, which is a list of favorite things, contains the randomly popped scalar value, which we stored over in another floppy. Okay, and then what I could do is, instead of referencing this search for persons, I could make the source of this repeating group. Let's see, this is person. Let's see, floppy selected person. Oops. See, it's hard to talk and also do this at the same time. So this is floppy random match. That's not a very good name for that guy, but whatever. Random match. Floppy random matches. RAM list values. Okay, so this is the list of matching people. Let's just confirm that that's the case. I just stored them in this state that I have, right? Oh, my mic's a little hot. Hot mic. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's just try that. Let's see. Keith, find shared faves. Oh, yeah. So Keith likes plasma weapons, and Kendra also likes plasma weapons. Again, I'm gonna have to call Kendra, see what she's up to. All right. Okay. What else do I want to talk about here? So that's how we can do that. Now, there was a proposed answer to Zachary's question that used intersect, and let's talk about that a little bit. So if I wanted to find anybody that has anything in common with some other person, how could I do that? Well, you could do an expression like this. So you could search for all people, okay? And then you could use the filtered operator to thin those guys out. And the filter is like this. It's an advanced filter. And we say this person's faves intersect with the selected person's faves. And that count is greater than 0. Let's just kind of demonstrate that, because I think I visualized that in 2 different places. Now, the problem with this is, like, this is not particularly scalable, because let's say that I have, 50,000 users in my database. Let's say I have 50,000 persons. This has to download all of the persons to the page and then iterate over them using the advanced filter condition, right? That loops through the people and, finds whether there's any intersection between their list of favorites and my list of favorites. What an intersection does is, it's like, what are the shared values? So what this is going to do is, this is going to loop through, and this is going to find all the shared values. And then I'm saying, filter them out, right, if that list has anything in it. So filter them in, I guess is what I'm saying, right? So let's go look at how that operates. So, for example, you'll see that in each repeating group cell, I have a thing that shows you what the intersections are. So if I select DJ Zippy, okay, you'll see that DJ Zippy's faves, which are Funky Jams, Your Mom, and Taco, like intersect with his own faves, obviously, 100%, right? There's 3 items here. The intersection is Funky Jams, Your Mom, and Taco. So there's like 3 items in that intersection list. If we look at Kendra, her intersection, the intersection of her favorite things list with DJ Zippy's faves is none. It's empty. There's nothing here, okay? And then similarly with Petra, well, Petra does share an interest with DJ Zippy, which is Taco, okay? And so she would show up in this list. So now if we go down here, all persons with anything in common with DJ Zippy, you'll see that, okay, DJ Zippy is in that list. I am in that list. Keith is in that list because I share an interest in Your Mom. Petra shares an interest in tacos, and Zach shares an interest in Your Mom and tacos. Zach. Okay. But again, like that's not scalable. But this is a thing that you could do. Like for small numbers of users, you could do this. What else do I want to show here? Oh, okay. Ultimately, Zach wants to get like one person randomly selected who shares some interest, right? And, you know, then having that, they could send you to that page. Like you could perv that person's profile or something, I guess. Okay, sure. We could do that. So, you know, let's build this out a little bit because I stopped right here at just like finding the people that share a favorite in common. And, you know, there's a problem here. Like, so 1, I haven't selected a person at random, and 2, the selected person, who in this case is DJ Zippy, they of course always match themselves, and so they show up in this list as well. And so how would we remove them? We can remove them very simply with like minus item. So let's see. Let's go back to our Find Shared Faves button. And again, this could be any event. You know, I'm only using a button here because I want to demonstrate something, and so I'm generating an event. Like, oh, I click this button, and now I can grab all these things and do the stuff, right? But this could be any event. It could be, you know, for example, when the user adds some new thing to their favorites list. We might randomly go, oh, okay, let's pick a random thing from you and see who you match at this moment, right? So, like I said, we grab the currently selected person, we grab a random item off of their favorites list, and then we could, in fact, we will set this list of everybody that matches to search for persons, right? Search for persons where faves contains the randomly popped thing that we want to check for, all right? And now to get the person themselves out of this list, what I would do is I would minus item. So we would subtract the item that is the selected user themselves, right? And so in that case, it's floppy selected person, floppy selected persons, ramp scalar value. All right, that's going to be the selected person that will take them off of this list. All right, let's just watch that work. You'll remember that there are cases in which DJ Zippy only matches themselves. And as soon as this loads, sorry, this is a development project, right? Okay, so you'll see that, this is exactly the situation I wanted. So you'll see that we randomly selected a favorite thing from DJ Zippy's list, Funky Jams, and there is only one person in the database who has an interest in Funky Jams, and that's DJ Zippy. But you see, we've removed them from this list just by minus iteming that person. Now, if we when we get Taco, now we get that Petra likes Taco and Zach likes Taco, and they're here. And again, because we subtracted the item who is the selected user, DJ Zippy no longer shows up in this list. Okay, next step. Now that we've got a list of other people that match, let's just take one of them at random, eh? So let's just do that. Let's see. I'm running out of room in this page. This is not a responsive page. This is just a static page using the old engine, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Where should we display this random person? There's a couple different ways that we could indicate that. Let's do, actually, you know what I'm going to do? because I did this the floppy random match, and the idea behind this was that I'm going to store the list of matches, and then I'm just going to store a single randomly selected item from that list to this floppy's RAM scaler. So let's just do that. So having stored the random match list, what I'll do is then I'll do set RAM scaler value of floppy. This will be floppy random match. I'm going to set its RAM scaler value to be its own. So this will be floppy random matches, RAM list values, random item. So I'm just going to snag a random item off of there, type random Keith, get a random item from that list, and we'll just put it in the scalar storage. Again, this could have been a custom state, but I'm using the built-in custom states of floppy. Floppy's a great value at $12. You get a ton of different plugins that do exciting things. Floppy's main reason for existence is to deal with local session and IndexedDB storage, but it has a whole bunch of data processing features. And I'm just showing this convenience feature that we have custom states built in. Each floppy has a built-in list and a built-in scalar state. Okay, so we'll just, grab a random value, right? And then to display that on my page, I suppose I could do, well, let's make this group a little bigger. Make the group a little bigger. Move this repeating group down. And then I'll put a little text element in here just to display the randomly selected user from this list, right? Does that fit in there? We'll just make a tiny one. This is not what you do in production. So randomly selected match. And that will be random matches, floppy random matches, RAM scalar value. That's going to be handle. Because these guys don't have names, they don't have emails or anything. A person is just kind of defined by their handle. Okay, so let's see. Does this actually work? Sure it does. 22 minutes for this very, very simple thing. But it's fun, right? You've seen me do stuff. It's fun to watch other people bubble and you learn how bubble works. Okay. As soon as this loads. All right. So let's find a match here, shall we? Let's click on Keith. All right. And then so we randomly selected plasma weapons, okay? And then there's only one person in the list who I guess likes plasma weapons. Is that right? Yep, that's right. It's just me and Kendra up in here. And so the randomly selected person is Kendra. Let's do something again. Let's try to get a different... There you go. Here's your mom. So we finally selected at random your mom, and you'll see that I matched two other people, right? I matched DJ Zippy, who likes your mom, and Zach, who likes your mom. And then at random, we pulled Zach off the list as our random match. Now, having Zach, right? I mean, I could navigate to a page. I don't have a person profile page, but you would just, now that you have that value, you just send, you could create a button to send someone to that page. I don't know, should we make that? I guess we could make that. Here, let's just make a new page. I don't want to lose this one. So what I would typically do here is we'll duplicate this editor page. Let's make a new page. Let's see. Whoops. Page. Make new page. Add new page. I hate that that's there. That's it's really far down the list. Okay, so this will be person profile, right? Person profile. I like dashes in my names. Person profile. Okay. And we're not going to clone it. We're just going to make a new empty page. Okay. And what we're going to do here for this page, right, we'll make it take a type, right? And its type will be person. Person. Okay. And let's just make a shitty profile page. There's not much to display about people. So, I guess what I do is, let's see. We'll just make a big old text element. And we'll say, welcome to the person page for blah, right? So let's see. We'll just say, welcome to the person profile page for current page is person. Current page person. Hey, current page person. Current page person. Oops, see, a person's not visualizable because it's a thing, right? So we got to say, well, okay, what textual representation do we want here? We'll say current page person's handle. All right, and that's kind of it. Okay, so let's see here. Now I have a person page, and so what I could do is once we have, let's see, so we got a randomly selected match up here. Boy, this is really crowded. But let's just make a button that would allow me to visit that randomly selected matches page, right? So let's get ourselves a button. Let's do a button. We could do this in a billion different ways, but okay. Button. There's a button. Give me a button. Visit. And what we'll do, actually, let's make this a little bit fancy. Visit. We're going to make this visit. What is the randomly selected person? Floppy random matches, RAM scalar values handle. Okay. Copy expression. Visit. Dynamic text. We'll insert dynamic data. We'll just paste that expression in here. Visit that person's handles profile. And then we could get a little fancy with this. You know, it's going to be kind of ugly, isn't it? That text is running outside that button. Now let's see. How does that look? I guess I could do another thing, actually. We'll make our profile page a little bit better. We'll say that current page person's handles favorite things are, and then we'll do current pages person's faves, each item's name. This is the ugliest profile page ever. You're welcome. All right. You see, what I want to do is I don't want to show this button unless something's selected, right? Because it's dumb to have a visit profile button that just like shows up. But anyway, let's select Keith again. Let's see. Keith likes plasma weapons. Yep, Kendra likes plasma weapons. And so now I can visit Kendra's profile. I didn't put any action on this button now, did I? But you see that visit Kendra's profile. Doesn't really say Kendra's, it says Kendra. Visit Kendra's profile. Let's fix that. Apostrophe S. Let's also make this conditional such that when this is empty, this button doesn't appear. So we'll just say define a condition. We'll say when floppy random matches RAM scalar value is empty, then this is not visible. This element is visible. No. I actually should have done that the opposite way, but you get the idea. So this button will only be visible when there's actually a value there to visit. And what we want to do is when it's clicked, we want to navigate to the profile page, right, of the person in question. So when button visit floppy random is clicked, we will go to page. We will go to a page. That destination will be person profile. And the data that we'll send will be that expression. What was it? Floppy random matches RAM scalars value. Not handle, just the actual person. Oops. Get rid of handle, please. Now, RAM scalar value. That's the random person that was selected. Okay. Let's try that again. Can I wrap this up in 30 minutes? I don't know. We're reloading. Here we go. All right, so let's find a match for Keith. Let's see. Oh, Keith likes long walks on the beach. The total list of people who like long walks on the beach is just Petra. And so our randomly matched person is Petra. And then I can click this button, and can I visit Petra's profile? Oh, I sure can. This is going to take forever to load too. It's a test mode app. It's got a bunch of plugins in it that are yada yada, in development mode, etc. This would be faster in production with a real app that doesn't have... There we go. So welcome to Petra's profile page. Here's Petra. Petra's favorite things are banana, taco, long walks on the beach, and tight pants. Cool. All right, so there's that. I hope that helps explain things. I don't know. It's a very simple thing. Maybe there was something to be learned. I don't know. Have a great, whatever it is, morning, noon, afternoon, evening, and happy bubbling. Talk to you later.